Well, let's get on with some American Indian medicine. Pokeweed. Pokeweed leaves have been known for medicinal purposes. Probably originated originally with the Delaware Indians. Were probably the first to prescribe pokeweed as a medicine, using it as a cardiac stimulant back, I don't know, hundreds of years ago. I don't really know how far back it goes. But it's been known throughout most of the Indian tribes, and now it's becoming more well known within the medicinal world. Now, it can be poisonous. Actually, it actually is poisonous unless it's prepared a certain way. And I will give you the exact name that to look for. Not that I'm selling it. There's not going to be a link or anything like that, but you can kind of Google it or look for health practitioners that sell this herb that it's already prepared. And they do not make any claims about it, but it does go back quite a ways with the American Indian. Now, they're finding out that it's actually very, very potent as a medicine, that they're finding out for cancer and viral issues and everything else. Basically, the theory behind the American Indian medicine is that the Creator has given us all the ways we need to heal the body's afflictions through Mother Nature, or Mother Earth actually has the cure itself. And if you look at pharmaceutical medicines, actually most everything from pharmaceutical medicines is a synthetic derivative of something that is found in nature. It's not created from scratch. As a matter of fact, to give you a good example, aspirin. Aspirin itself, what was the originator of aspirin was white willow bark. White willow bark was given for headaches, and they found out what in white willow bark was the thing that helped alleviate headaches, and they synthesized it, and it became aspirin. That's very commonplace in the medicine world, actually, in the modern prescription world. But if you go back to the ancients, it can be said that the earth has given us every answer we need to go back and find the answers for all our afflictions. But you have to be careful and use common sense when you are mixing herbal remedies with prescription drugs. You know, this is a case where I don't really want to tell you to take this. I'm going to tell you what it's for or what it's been shown. Actually, the best modern American cancer research and antiviral research is showing that pokeweed has a lot of promise. But I can't tell you to take this because it may interact with other prescription drugs, and probably the one to really find the answer to what it interacts with might be a professional herbalist or naturopath that is also a medical doctor at the same time. But I just want to make you aware of this, because this actually can be an extremely inexpensive, super powerful medicine. And I just want to state that the American Indians, you know, it was a different map. It was a different map in North America before, you know, the Europeans came over here. And they did know how to get along fine with nature, and they did understand how medicines can come from nature. And herbal medicine is not just a pastime. It's not a folklore. It is actually a hard science. And they're starting to find out, even in our modern-day pharmaceutical world, that indeed it is a hard science. So let us look at exactly what it can do. Pokeweed leaves can be used, you know, it's originally used as a salad stock or stewed like collard greens, but it found that they can also use it for medicinal purposes, being that the Delaware Indians were some of the first ones to do this. But it shows that it contains a compound that appears to enhance the immune system and has some anti-cancer effect, and they tested this on animals. Now, they need to test this more on humans, but according to, you know, Indian medicine, it does work on humans too, according to them. But it has to be specially prepared. It's actually something that is poisonous if you just take the berries or you just take the leaves. You got to watch. And I'm going to tell you what the actual scientific name is for if you want to order this product. Don't go around picking pokeweed and using it as medicine, because you have to prepare it a certain way. And also, even if you have the right stuff, you got to watch for interactions with, there could be, they don't know of any, but there could be interactions with, existing prescribed medications. So, they showed in animal studies that pokeweed has antiviral protein. In other words, they call it PAP, the pokeweed antiviral protein, which is very anti-cancerous in rodents. That's the study they check. That's usually what they check. But they also found that it's a very good treatment, possibly a very good treatment for advanced osteosarcomas and also some soft tissue sarcomas. They've also found that it can be very useful against cancer cells that depend on hormones for the growth, such as the prostate cancer, breast cancer, and ovarian cancer. So now this is actually coming from the major medical in not just the Indian folklore, but they're finding out, yes, there's something in this pokeweed that they're probably looking to, I'd imagine a pharmaceutical big business is looking to synthesize it, and they will patent it, and they will sell it for big bucks. But, maybe if you find the right medicine man out there, or medicine woman, or the herbalist, or naturopath, you might be onto something that is a very powerful treatment, and it's dirt cheap because it's pokeweed. It's not raw pokeweed. It has to be prepared. I got to say that again. But the thing is, it's something where we're actually blending the nations that existed in the United States of America with the current nation that's here, and we're taking the best of all knowledge and bring it out to fruition for the benefit of all mankind. That's really what I'm just trying to put out here. It's not something that I can prescribe something, that I can recommend something. It's really for informational purposes. Also, they showed that the pokeweed antiviral protein, PAP, acts against some viruses such as herpes and human immunodeficiency virus, HIV, and it's been studied as a possible antiviral in laboratory studies and to protect cells against HIV. And you would almost think maybe that's something possibly that could protect cells from Ebola. I don't know if it would work, but that's if it works against some of these serious issues, possibly. Maybe it could protect you against flu. I don't know. But I'm just putting this out for information purposes, because it's almost as if we're on a new pioneering age again. It's like everything went full circle. It's like we think we know everything now because we have all the modern medicine, but then we're rediscovering things in the past from peoples that existed before here in the United States of America, and they still exist mainly on reservations, unfortunately. But it's like there's been a lot of wisdom that has been lost. So I think that, pokeweed really needs to be examined more, and they have been examining it, but I can also point to a little bit more, and I don't want to mention too much the doctor's name or what studies seem to have been suppressed, but it seems like this pokeweed PAP, pokeweed antiviral protein, seems to be extremely effective against cancers and viruses, far more than the information I've just presented. I don't want to get into the exact details and studies, but it seems like, if I make a claim that it's been scrubbed off the net, I'm going to tell you, I know it's been scrubbed off the net. It's been scrubbed off the net, but it's still on the net that there's still some studies out there showing that it's very powerful stuff, but there's been other things out there that seem to be a lot more conclusive. I don't want to name the name. I know some people are going to be telling me, I'm full of it, I'm making this up, but I'm not making this up. But it's something I just want to warn again. You don't take raw pokeweed and just eat it, because that is poisonous. It has to be prepared. But I'm going to tell you what the actual scientific name for it is, because when you look up pokeweed, you're not going to get what the medicine actually is. And again, I just want to warn that if you take this, you got to watch for interactions. And I'm not sure if the medical doctors are going to know what the interactions are, because I didn't see any listed anywhere. Maybe there are none. But if there are any, I would imagine that a medical doctor who is also an herbalist and a naturopath would know better. So, the indigenous American tribes that existed in North America knew a hell of a lot more than anybody has imagined, with their egos and their degrees and their practices and all this type of stuff, that they seem to have their heads up in the clouds, because the American Indian has always told us the Creator has given us many, many ways to heal every bodily affliction. For every bodily ailment there is known to mankind, Mother Earth has a cure. But it's not something to be taken lightly. It is a science. It's not something to be messed around with haphazardly. It could be dangerous to take some of these things if there's interactions. But I can tell you that the pokeweed medicine, quote unquote, I'll give you the scientific name in the notes and in the comment, is sold over the counter. But they don't make all the claims in the world about it. I'm just telling you some of the studies that have been out there that seem to indicate with lab rats and animals how effective this thing could possibly be against strong cancers and strong viruses. And it's a medicine that's dirt cheap. So let me just say, I have a lot of respect for the American Indian. And I just want to leave you on with this note. My cousin, who is not in the state of Florida, but actually up north in one of those deep freeze states, further north than New Jersey, I can tell you that. It's very cold up there. She had terminal cancer. And she had these operations where they had, things to removed, and they told her she had to go for aggressive chemotherapy. She is actually working with Indians, American Indians. She's actually in the country. Now you're thinking maybe I'm making this up. I'm not making this up. Actually, she's using chaga as one of the herbs, which is a Siberian herb. Her cancer has been receding, going backwards, shrinking. They said she needed advanced chemo and radiation therapy. She didn't do any of that. She's working with the American Indians and doing very well. So I kind of decided to put this out for that reason, partly too, because I realize they do know a lot more than I almost hate to call them the pinheads in the established American medical establishment seem to think they know. The American Indians do know some things. Maybe they don't know everything there is in the world, but I just got to leave you with this thought again. It's their belief, and it's also my belief, that the Creator has given us all the ways in the world to heal any bodily affliction with something provided from Mother Earth that can give us an actual cure. So, pokeweed, and I'll give you the scientific name for it. I'm not selling nothing. You can just kind of look it up, Google it, or whatever. You do not want to take it raw. It's actually poisonous to take these berries and leaves. They got to be prepared a certain special way, but I'll give you the scientific name for it. And it's over the counter, so I assume it's a fairly safe medicine, just that you might have to watch for certain interactions, and I won't know what those interactions are because I've never seen anything published on what any interactions would be. I'd imagine it's fairly safe stuff, if maybe it is safe all the way, but I can't guarantee that.